Welcome back for the continuation of the mini-series, The Girl That Slept with Destiny Part 2, The Price of Jealousy. The night Mama Roli went to the river, the moon refused to shine. The dogs howled a sorrowful tune, the frogs went deathly quiet, and even the wind held its breath, stepping back as if afraid. Mama Roli knelt at the riverbank, her wrapper tied tight not just around her waist, but with the raw strength of her anger. She uncorked a bottle of gin and poured it into the dark water, her lips moving, whispering a venomous prayer. "If Imasẹ can rise through sleep," she hissed, "then let her sleep destroy her." But the river did not answer. Instead, it did something strange. The water pulled back, slowly, revealing black, slimy stones that had not seen the air for hundreds of years. A silence followed, heavy and ancient. Then, from the very depths of the river, a voice emerged. It wasn't loud, nor was it soft. It was heavy, like the weight of time itself. "What is not yours," the voice rumbled, "cannot be borrowed." A shiver ran down Mama Roli's spine, but greed is a stubborn spirit. It deafens the ear to warnings. Clinging to her malicious hope, she dropped a red cloth and a handful of cowries into the exposed riverbed. "Then take something from her," she pleaded, her voice cracking with desperation. "Take her favor, take her dreams, take anything. Just leave her with nothing." The river moved again. The water surged forward, not to accept the sacrifice, but to claim something else. It didn't take the cloth or the cowries. It touched Mama Roli, and in that touch, it left a mark, an invisible spiritual stain. That very same night, miles away, Imasẹ slept, but this was not her usual peaceful rest. This sleep was different. In her dream, she found herself standing in shallow, murky water. The old woman from her previous dreams was there, but her gentle face was now stern, her eyes filled with a grave seriousness. "Someone has asked the river to rearrange your destiny," the old woman said, her voice echoing over the water, "but a destiny tied with patience does not scatter so easily." As she spoke, the water at Imasẹ's feet darkened, swirling into a murky mirror. The face of Mama Roli appeared in the reflection, twisted, fearful, and desperate. "She has touched what does not answer to greed," the old woman continued, her gaze fixed on the apparition. "Now the river will collect its own debt, and from that day forward, Mama Roli's life began to crack and fall apart. It started with small things. Food would spoil in her pots before it even finished cooking. Money, carefully counted and hidden, would vanish without a trace. But soon the decay seeped into her mind, her sleep turned violent. She would wake up screaming, drenched in sweat, the sound of rushing water roaring in her ears, a sound no one else could hear. Then came the sleepwalking. Night after night she would rise from her bed, her eyes wide and unseeing, and walk, zombie-like, towards the river. Her family would have to drag her back, fighting against an unnatural strength. The whispers started in the village. "The river is calling her," they'd say, shaking their heads in fear and pity. "She owes a debt she cannot pay." Meanwhile, Imasẹ's blessings continued, but now they came with tests. The oil company that had noticed her in the market invited her to their headquarters in Lagos. This was the big league, big people, big money, and even bigger promises of a life she had only dreamed of. But a strange pattern emerged. The night before every major meeting, every breakthrough, Imasẹ would fall into a deep, uncontrollable sleep. A sleep so profound she would miss alarms, miss calls, and wake up just moments before she was due to be somewhere. Well-meaning friends and neighbors warned her, "Imasẹ, you sleep too much. You'll sleep through your own opportunities. You need to fight it." But in her dreams, the old woman appeared again, her face calm and reassuring. "Do not fight the sleep," she advised gently. "Your rest is your protection. It is the shield that holds your destiny in place while the storm rages outside." Imasẹ didn't understand fully, but she trusted the voice that had guided her this far. She surrendered to the sleep, believing it was part of her path. The final straw for Mama Roli came one humid evening. Half mad with terror and exhaustion, she staggered to Imasẹ's humble doorway. Her eyes were sunken into her skull, her skin was pale and clammy. Her voice, once sharp and commanding, was now a pathetic, shaking whisper. "Please," she begged, falling to her knees. "Please, Imasẹ, tell the river to release me. I can't take it anymore." Imasẹ looked down at the woman who had wished her so much harm. She saw not a rival, but a broken soul, consumed by her own jealousy. and in that moment a profound understanding settled upon her. Not every enemy is meant to be fought, not every battle is yours to win. Some enemies are simply meant to be handed over to a higher power, to a justice you cannot enact yourself. She looked at Mama Roli, her heart filled not with anger, but with a quiet, somber clarity. She answered softly, her voice carrying no malice, only truth. The river only listens to truth, Mama Roli. Something in those words, or perhaps the truth they represented, broke the last thread holding Mama Roli together. She scrambled to her feet and ran. She didn't run home. She didn't run to the village square. She ran straight to the water's edge, as if finally answering the call that had haunted her for so long. She reached the riverbank, and this time no one was there to pull her back, and the river, having finally collected its debt, closed its mouth. That is the end of part 2. Next comes the final chapter, part 3, the crown of the sleeper. This is where Imasẹ's destiny fully matures, where all secrets are finally revealed, and where she learns that her gift was never just for wealth, it was for authority. If you're ready to see how it all ends, say part 3 in the comments, and we will finish this story properly. Thank you for watching.